Hello Year 5 and welcome to Tuesday's lesson about writing newspaper reports. So today for the lesson you're going to be referring to the text that we looked at yesterday, the newspaper report about the Apollo 11 moon landings. You'll be using this short video and the task sheet. It's kind of going to be a little bit of I'll show you something, you have a go, I'll show you something, you have a go, and so on. And then we're going to finish off by writing a bit of the main body. So today we're going to write multi-clause sentences to use in a newspaper report. And a multi-clause sentence is a sentence with more than one clause. It could be two main clauses, like in a compound sentence, using our fanboys conjunctions. But today we're going to focus on complex sentences, and there are lots of different types of complex sentences, but in a nutshell these contain a main clause and a subordinate clause. A main clause is the main information, and the subordinate clause being something that doesn't make sense by itself. So they can include subordinating conjunction sentences, relative clauses with a relative pronoun, and embedded clauses. It's crucial in these sentences that we use commas accurately to mark clauses, because sentences will not make sense or be accurate without them. So if you need to pause it and to look at the information on the slide, feel free at any point today. Okay. The reason that these sentences are used is that in newspapers they need to convey, to write lots of information in very few words. They need to put lots of complicated information out there quickly. They need to be short and snappy, and that's why we'll see lots of these used in our waggle. So the first sentence that we're going to focus on is a multi-clause sentence, and we're going to have a bit of a thinking scaffold here. So you might want to refer back to the waggle to help you with some information, but I want you to think back to the Apollo 11 moon landings and complete the information table below. Think of the main information. When did it happen? Well, we're imagining that it happened yesterday. What happened? Did the astronauts go for tea? No. The first men ever landed on the moon, etc. So I want you to complete this table, and then you're going to use the information to compose your own lead paragraph, okay? Using commas to separate the information where necessary. If you need to refer to the key text, do so. You might need to pause this slide for now. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is to look at using subordinating conjunctions. So we're going to describe what's happening in the picture here, and then we're going to think of some subordinating conjunctions we could use. I've listed a few here in blue for you guys. So some facts that I thought might be useful are the rocket launch speed was 24,000 miles per hour. The rocket was 363 feet tall. And the launch time was 8:32 AM Eastern Standard Time. So, at first, comma, the rocket launched at a speed of da 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 da. At first, the rocket launched into space, and so on. Some of these facts might be a bit of a red herring, but I want you to write a sentence using this information. This will help you then to complete task 2. Now remember, that comma needs to come here in the sentence to separate your information within the sentence. And we've done subordinating conjunctions before. In a quick video it's hard to explain all the rules of where the commas should go. But if you say the sentence aloud, think about where that natural break is, where that additional information comes. Okay, and now on to the information required to do task 3. So we're going to look at embedded clauses. An embedded clause is where extra information is dropped into the sentence, and we need a comma before and after that extra information. So for example, in my very accurate sentence here, it says Mrs. Lesniewski, comma, aged 21, comma, was excited to witness the event. So what I've got for you to do, you can look at the picture to help you. You're going to look at this information here. The journey took almost 4 days, and we're going to add the extra info after the noun. The journey, a distance of 34,000 miles, took almost 4 days. So where should the commas go here? Think about what the extra information is, and those commas should almost be like the bread in a sandwich to that extra information. Once you've done this, you can have a go at task 3 on your sheet, pausing the video here if you need to, so you've got a visual reminder of how to complete the sentences. Okay, the final sentence type that we're going to look at today is relative clauses. Again, we've done these several times throughout Year 5, so this is a little refresher. Relative clauses are really very similar to embedded clauses, but the difference, the subtle difference, is they have a relative pronoun at the start. So words like who, which, when, where, that should say, or that. Okay. For example, Mr. Martin, who is a Harry Potter fan, is our head teacher. Who is our relative pronoun that's really, really important in this sentence. So I've given you an example here. You could use this to help you frame your own one. The astronauts who, something, 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 were on a mission to explore the moon. The main clause being the astronauts were on a mission to explore the moon. But because I'm describing a person or people, I've used the relative pronoun who. Notice again we've got these commas to separate the main clause, the astronauts were on a mission to explore the moon, from the relative clause, including our relative pronoun. Now you need to do task 4 to complete your own 2 sentences, including a relative pronoun, after the main noun. You can have a go at that on the task sheet, and if you need to pause, please feel free to do so. Okay. So, hopefully now you've built up a bank of sentences that you can use, and what I'm going to ask you to do today is to begin to put some ideas down on paper for your lead paragraph, the first one we did, the who, what, when, where, why and how, and then we're going to look at the main body of the report. This is obviously going to be based on the Apollo 11 moon landings. You don't need to just use the sentences that you've compiled in today's lesson. What actually you can do is to add additional facts to that. So the skills we've focused on today, relative and embedded clauses, multi-clause sentences and subordinating conjunctions. All of these we've done numerous times throughout Year 5, so hopefully this should be a bit of a refresher for you. But the other skills we could try to include are things like passive voice, parenthesis, direct quotes using inverted commas, and obviously making sure the tense and the person of the writing is correct. Just wanted to draw your attention to this newspaper article before we start writing, because actually one of the really important things, just as we scan through, is that the paragraphs are pretty short. They contain 1, maybe 2 sentences. This is because, again, the newspaper reports have to convey lots of information quickly, so you should be trying to copy that in your own writing. Have fun, folks. Happy writing.